Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It is in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a true rarity, launched in 2013 and made in only 6 pieces. This is the Bethune DB28 Tourbillon Black Zirconium. Bethune noting that zirconium with black oxide is both stark and super scratch resistant. It decided to create several models in 2013 that made the most of this striking aesthetic and unique material, as zirconium, when it oxidizes, turns a distinctive black. So this isn't PVD, this isn't DLC, this is oxidized base metal. And in the DB28 Tourbillon, it's mechanically spectacular. It's also easy to wear. The zirconium is fairly light on the wrist. The watch, 42.7 millimeters in diameter. It is 11.4 millimeters thick, so about 1 millimeter thinner than a Rolex Daytona. This has the long specification, variable geometry, spring-loaded floating lugs. So from 58.4 millimeters at full extension, squeeze them tight. Now that is 53.4, that is the dynamic range. And then 26 millimeters is the spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. And first you can note that it is quite flat. It might be hard to believe that it's as thin as I'm claiming, but yeah, it is thinner than a Rolex Daytona, which is a thin watch in its own right. With the floating lugs, it'll fit on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, but make no mistake, Bethune can supply medium-sized or even short lugs and will retrofit them on older watches if you please. So this can be changed if you think this lug spacing is too big for you. But as is on the large lugs, I think you could wear this watch well on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference without any trouble. And yeah, it'll fit underneath the cuff. It's flat enough, but this isn't the kind of watch you generally want to disappear beneath a shirt. The strap, high grade. Large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top. We have here a sheer cut edge, a monotone stitch, matte finish, non-gloss leather, small round scale alligator on the bottom. The idea of doing this on both sides is that unlike calfskin lined straps, double gator costs more, but it also lasts longer. And you can see the strap is in outstanding condition. We have a matched black zirconium oxidized buckle, and at Bethune the buckles match the watches. So you can see that the floating lugs and the design of the buckle, they mirror each other. Now, the only element of old school Bethune design, that is DB1, DB2, the original watches, that's preserved here is these little ogival or torpedo tips on the lugs. That's a nod back to the original DB1 chrono of 2002, the first year of the brand. Now, you have the floating lugs. They're open, they're skeletonized, they're very light, they are spring-loaded, they conform to you, they don't force you to conform to the watch. Now, taking a quick look here, we have a screw-down crown that's actually a bullhead winder, and I didn't wind the watch because initially I wanted you to see the tourbillon assembly, which is the world's lightest. The tourbillon is 18/100ths of 1 gram. You can see all of the iridescent blue parts are actually silicon. You can also see that the escape wheel is silicon for low lubrication, high efficiency, minimal maintenance. The rim of the tourbillon is made of white gold and it's outboard, so putting as much of the mass of the wheel total in the rim, that's ideal for timekeeping. And then the tourbillon cage itself is made of blue titanium, so silicon, titanium, and white gold in the tourbillon assembly. You can also see the hairspring has a weird sort of kink in its terminal curve, and that's because the Bethune hairspring curve is patented. They get 2 pieces of hairspring, they shape them by hand, clamp them together, and it gives you the concentric breathing and positional timekeeping consistency of an overcoil, but with the thin profile of a flat hairspring and also the shock resistance of a flat hairspring. Now, this tourbillon allows the watch to be accurate to 1/3 of a second per day. At Bethune, they put a big claim on their tourbillon watches, and they live up to it. So now I'm going to wind it, and you can see it in action. You can see there are twin mainspring barrels. It has a 5-day manual wind power reserve, and no, you cannot accidentally overwind it. These are twin self-adjusting barrels, a patented system that ensures that even if you wind too far and too fast, you are not going to overwind damage a mainspring or break the watch in any fashion, which is a wonderful refinement to have. Now, the crown is a screw down just to protect it from the movement of the lugs and to keep it secured until you need it. And it's got a wonderful knurling that's a real pleasure to grip. Also, in case you want to know where you are in the power reserve span of 5 days, you could see the entire power reserve mechanism with satination, beveling, black polish, and engine turning on the reverse side. And so you've got 5 days of power reserve there. Now, the first thing you'll note about this tourbillon is that it's moving awfully quickly. You can see that silicon escape wheel right there. This is a 30-second tourbillon. It makes one circuit every 30 seconds, so every minute it makes 2 turns. Another fun refinement, it is a 36,000 vibration per hour beat rate, so 10 beats per second or 5 hertz like a Zenith El Primero, which improves the resilience against shock and the timekeeping resolution of the watch. You can also see that there is a black polished mirror underneath to mirror the mechanism, and you can see how much the mechanism is comprised of silicon and white gold and titanium, and it is quite beautiful. Now, the movement, of course, this is the DB 2019 movement, 38 joules, manual wind, and underneath this cap, we have a deltoid-shaped barrel bridge. You can see the 2 barrels sticking out. Underneath that, we have blackened Côte de Bethune, or stripes laid down by abrasive wheel. We have blackened globes acting as the hour indices, modified skeletonized, and yes, blackened Breguet-style hands that tell the time. And then you can see that we have a lovely blackened and black polished, that is mirror polished, steel cap on the deltoid barrel bridge. So all of this finely finished. And you can see on the side, mirrored anglage, the likes of which would make Grubel 4C proud. So while the look is avant-garde, the finish is very, very traditional. And again, only 6 of these ultra scratch resistant ergonomic wonders were made. So reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.